This one's going to be spicy. Under the entry level. Alright, so what we do have is a little bit of updated results from today's outing with the Ruger Redhawk 7.5 inch 44 Magnum. This gun is great. It held up perfectly. I don't have any issues at all with the way that it handled today. I just kind of got done cleaning it, so obviously let's go ahead and safety check everything and just make sure we're cool, but no issues at all. No issues with the primers, which was good, and so I'm happy with basic results. So, all right, let's get into it a little bit. All right, so what we do have first is the very first group that I had shot was right here. It'll be 5 rounds, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, this was 12 grains of Winchester 231. I put on here no pressure signs, which is good. Now, one of the things that I thought was pretty interesting is these ones shot just a little bit high, which is normal, which generally speaking, the way that a lot of these Magnum revolvers are sighted in is that they will shoot high at short distances because they're meant to shoot out to 50 some odd yards. So this seemed kind of normal to me, little windage, but all of that elevation right there looked pretty sharp. So, I mean, in all honesty, I think that that's a great load. I think that this is going to be a great one for personal defense. One of the things that I think about this particular one is that it's going around 1,300 feet per second. So 1,300, 1,350 feet per second with a 200 grain projectile. That's way more than 357 Magnum for sure. So that could be good for this purpose. So the next one that I shot over was 16 grains of HS6. And that one was okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 6 here. I have a feeling that maybe one of my shots from somewhere else might have tagged in here. I'm not really sure, to be perfectly honest with you. But what I'm seeing right here, though, is this little pattern. It wasn't great. It really wasn't anything special, nothing to write home about. So it didn't have a terrible amount of muzzle flash, which was great. But this should be running somewhere in the 1,450 feet per second. The next one was, and I apologize for all the other shots on here. I used generally this one target the whole time. So what we have here is 24 grains of Enforcer. Now, this wasn't bad at all. I'd like to say that generally speaking, at 7 yards, that's not a great group. And I could probably play with this a little bit more, but I really wanted to just find out how each how each powder worked in this particular gun. So that really wasn't that bad, but it wasn't great. So, you know, that being said, I'm very okay with it. These were all shot in single action, by the way. The next one that I have is going to be this guy here. This was my 28 grains of H110. I said not bad on this one. Now, this one did have a fairly decent little grouping here. I think that I could probably pull that together. There's a very good chance, though, that that the spread of this group is just me not having as much practice with this gun or that load. That being said, the 28 of H110 had a great fireball, but it didn't hurt as bad as the factory 240 grain XTP Hornady Classic. So I'm going to consider that to be quite a bit more powerful. I will say when it comes to 44 Magnum, factory loadings seem to be pretty spicy. So then the last one I had done here was this guy. I had a small group of 26 grains of H110. You're not supposed to go a little bit below, and I did it by accident. But I decided I was going to shoot him, and I shot him last just in case anything didn't happen. But they all lit. They all fired just fine. I stuck one down here because I think that I pulled it. I really do. But everything showed up here, which is an even better group than the 28 grain. So I think the H110 is definitely something that that will be, you know, worth shooting. And then, of course, I had, you know, 6 or 8 rounds left of this, you know, 231 that I had made up of 12 grains. I'm going to say that's just a good group. So 231 with this 200 grain bullet and 12 grains of this 231. They shoot pretty darn good. I really can't ask for a whole lot more than that. Better than that at, you know, 6-7 yards without any real practice, by the way. But it shoots pretty much to point of aim. So that's something that I'm pretty happy with, you know, just going forward. You know, the rest of the time, though, that I spent, you know, playing around at the range was actually with this guy. This is my main carry gun. This is the HK VP9. And it's been configured with all of the inserts for a little bit bigger palm swell and a larger hand palm swell on the right-hand side. And it's got the night sights on it. This happens to be basically the best shooting gun for me that I own. And I know that it seems like I have much more expensive guns, a USP 45 and other guns, but man, you know, all I really had to do was just kind of preload where you hit the wall right here and then just clap. And it's just it's snappier than the Glock, and I like it. This is a great gun. So, but the reason I wanted to show you all of that is that I decided that I was going to spend a little bit of time working with it. So my very first group with the VP9, I think, was this one here, and I thought, all right, 10. I mean, these are all 10-round groups, by the way. 10-round groups with the VP9. If these were 5-round groups, I wouldn't be so sad about that at 7 yards. But you know, oh, here we go. And then for this one here, this is I wrote best VP9 group ever. I put all 10 rounds into a something the size of a quarter with one on the dot there. I decided I was going to shoot some more VP9 groups. Here's some more over here. So obviously at 7 yards, that's not terrible. It's not wonderful. I decided I was going to slow down, take my time, and have this one again. So obviously when I really want to be accurate with this VP9, take my time. I did a 15-yard group. I do have a tendency to get outside of this square when I do that. So I think that going forward, what I really need to do is just spend time with the VP9 and take care to make my shots a little bit better. This one I did just shooting as quickly as I could acquire. And it still wasn't that bad, but it was at 7 yards. Although in 7 yards, if we're in 6-inch, shooting as fast as I can, acquire a target. That's really not so bad. I had a couple of double pulls though. So that's where I'm squeezing the gun too tight and I shoot a second round. And that is a major safety issue that it bothers me. So I really need to train and spend some more time thinking about what I'm doing when I'm shooting. And go back to fundamentals again. So obviously that's one of those things where that's just a me problem, but it is something that I am highly concerned with. So that being said, we're still kind of feeling good for the day. I'm going to have some videos that are going to be playing over here. Appreciate if you are on this journey with me, and hope you are doing good. Have a good one.